What's up everyone, it's Brad with the Hodl fandom. Let's talk bots. Now I was going to put out a video outlining the deficiencies in the upcoming bot strategies that Ecomi has lined up and my ideas on how to stop them. But Alex went ahead and implemented a variation of one of those ideas this morning, so I'm changing up the narrative just slightly. Now, the strategy to stop NFT transfers was a popular idea and something I've mentioned multiple times in past videos, with it being a way that botters consolidate wealth. But even with that, and with all the other things that are coming, there are still holes in the plan. Now, I've done some research and have a listing of what we might see in the future to help reduce bots to a more tolerable level. Let's get into it. I'm not a tech expert, so I'm not going to go into the programming and the tech behind bot detection. These are more of concepts that can be actually built in-house. Now, the issue with the bot detection that we have right now that Ecomi is outsourcing is that it primarily just detects bots at the point of sale only. And it's obviously not enough. The team have acknowledged this, and I'm glad they're working on additional measures. Now, for this video, I'm going to present a bunch of ideas that have worked on other platforms and my personal modifications of those to what I would want to see on Veve. Now, they have all shown effectiveness, but there are always some sacrifices that you give up for that effectiveness. Now, the last part of this preface, I just want to mention, and I just want to echo the sentiment from Dan Crothers. This is a whack-a-mole type of situation. We can't stop them all. But with what Ecomi is doing, combined with the ideas that I will present here, I have a philosophy that it's more about making it just materially more difficult than the competition to run a botting scheme. Make it so time intensive that they would somehow find it more profitable to bot $2 stickers on other platforms. So to all the bots, go over to Quid, just go there. Anyways, let's outline first the current measures that we have. We have the outsourced bot detection software. They mentioned in the last AMA, they will be restricting gem transfers, and they just implemented this morning full restriction on gifting NFTs. They will also be implementing KYC for all users, which is an upgrade to the previous statement of KYC only for when cashing out. I think these are great, and KYC should be the most effective thing they've introduced so far. There are still some clear ways around this. For example, gifting NFTs and gems. I've said for many months in many videos, again, that is one of the mechanisms bots use to consolidate funds. The issue is there is a way around this, and this is through the secondary market. It's used in games like FIFA, Madden, NHL Ultimate Team, where you can list your players on the market and make the price a specific number so that they can be easily identified and then bought by the account that's doing the consolidating. This does require the purchaser to have the funds, but it still circumvents the system. This is nothing new, it's been used in gaming for ages, so this is very likely what we will see, even though direct NFT transfers and direct gem transfers are blocked. Now, regarding KYC, I do think this will stop a big percentage of the volume of bots, but again, it's not perfect. With the rise of crypto and crypto exchange KYC requirements, there has been a rise in black market fake ID for KYC. Right now, these things do cost money. But with the continued evolution of crypto exchanges and crypto projects that require KYC, these bad actors, they're going to ramp up production. They're only going to ramp up production of these fake IDs. And because of economies of scale, these prices will go down over time. With that said, how the hell do you stop them? Well, the first place I'm going to look at is NBA Top Shot. Now, I had a group of about 10 or 15 of us, friends of mine, who were in a group chat, and we discussed all things NBA Top Shot. So the drops, and all things related to the value of the NFTs. Barely any of us, 10 to 15 of us, could land drops back then, which kind of sounds like Veve today. Now, since then, all their anti-bot measures have been enabled, and there are only, unfortunately, a few of us left who actively participate. Here's the thing, landing drops is no longer an issue. We can easily land the drops. So I'd say it is a small sample, but it's fairly safe to say that these anti-bot measures have worked for them. The real collectors are now landing the drops. So this is where I get the first set of ideas, the success of NBA Top Shot. Let's talk market transfers. Alex mentioned they will be turning back on NFT transfers after they implement KYC. I don't think they should, at least not exactly how it was. We need to make it more difficult for that consolidation of funds. Now, Top Shot has two requirements to be able to gift or transfer NFTs. Number one, own at least 10 moments. That's what they call their NFTs. And number two, the moment you are transferring has to be owned for at least 7 days. I generally like this because bots can't just land the drop, send it off to another account, and then get banned or disappear. What I don't like is the 10 moment requirement. Again, we had a situation where barely anybody could land the drops, kind of like on Veve right now. So there were some in our group who barely had any moments. Even though they were active participants in every single drop, they just couldn't land it. Again, the prices were also silly on the secondary market, kind of like Veve in January. So to own 10 moments, even bad ones last year, at some points that's like spending $200. And that's a massive turnoff. Just to gift something you bought, you have to spend $200. That's worse, significantly worse than OpenSea gas fees. And that's how you turn off and turn away a customer. Now, I do like the time restriction as it gives the company time to identify the account as whether it's a true customer or it's a bot. So for Veve, I think this could look something like, yes, you can gift NFTs, but only if A, you've owned it for 7 days, B, your account has to be more than 30 days old, and C, you have 200 MCP points. The most efficient way to earn 200 MCP points is to first complete the new user onboarding for 100 points. This is key because it's additional filtering for bots, especially if you throw in the CAPTCHA somewhere in that onboarding. It can also have the same effect as the Top Shot requirements, but in my opinion, it's better because it's not a paywall. There is a free avenue to do this, especially in the in-app activities. Again, that's still to be defined by the company. That again, if done right, can help identify humans from bots. All right, let's move on to drop requirements. So NBA Top Shot has specific drops for new users where only the new users can access. There are also many drops for only the elite collectors, the ones who are definitely not bots, but there are also people who have spent a lot of money on the app. So the requirements can be kind of extreme for me. I would not want something like this exactly on Veve. I think when you have too many drops that are exclusive to one group or another, that builds resentment in those groups that are shut out. Just look at these Top Shot requirements. They're kind of ridiculous. I do understand that there's a mentality in gaming, a profitable mentality, not a successful one, but a profitable one, where you essentially milk the whales. Now, EA Sports is a master at this, but it comes at a cost. They are the multiple-time winner of the Worst Company of the Year award for the egregious and honestly pretty disgusting paywalls. But also more important to us, EA's greed put them at odds with Disney, as was seen in the Battlefront 2 fiasco. Let me be very, very clear about this. We do not want to be at odds with Disney. We do not want to risk that. So we cannot have expensive paywalls. And we've seen what this did between EA and Disney. That's a real life example that happened because loot boxes and paywalls were not aligned to the Disney brand. We need to continue to participate in good faith with good business practices for every Disney fan, not just the ones with money. That's what Disney believes in, and that's what we need to continue to do. So Ecomi is implementing something pretty good regarding OUP and MCP that will help with the bots on the drops. I'll let Dan explain this.
Me as a user, I can go and join the waitlist. At that point, I have one entry in the waitlist because I've joined. Where the advantage, with the Master Collector program, the greater the level you are, the more of a Master Collector you are, you will basically get points, and then you can use those points to get additional entries into the waitlist. So rather than having one, maybe you'll have 5 or 10. And those same features get extended to OMI holders who can use OMI to basically buy additional slots in the waitlist.
So Dan is basically saying there are ways for everyone to participate in the drops. This itself doesn't eliminate the bots, but it gives those real users a much better chance. Of course, KYC will also help eliminate quite a few, but again, as I mentioned, as long as we pressure the bots with all aspects of how they operate and transfer assets, as a total, it will be effective. Now, one idea that will help with the bots is once we get renting available, we can also have themed drops. I keyed into this in my renting and burning video. There are a lot of gems in there, so I'll link it down below. But basically, let's say we have a Back to the Future drop, and you need to own anything Back to the Future related to participate in that drop. What I like about this is that the fans in the app likely already own something Back to the Future related already, so you're making sure that it's not a random bot, you're selling it to the fans. Secondly, if the lowest price collectible is too expensive, and I get it can be for a lot of people, renting will allow those to participate at a low cost. So these themed drops would be my idea of a tailored version of what Top Shot is doing with their exclusive drops. All right, let's talk bots here on the secondary market. Now, one of the categories is kind of hard to stop, and the other one is kind of easier, in my opinion. Now, the easy one are the bots that scoop up the really low-priced items. If you've miskeyed your NFT, miskeyed your price, I think those should be on the market. That might be debatable. It's a free market, and you really need to be careful. I've heard horror stories of people listing their wallets for an extremely low price. I'm going to sound harsh here, but you really need to be triple checking an asset that is as much as a down payment on a house or a condo. When I bought this condo 7 years ago here in downtown Toronto, I had my down payment of something like 30 grand in my pocket as a money order, and I'm pretty sure those are pay to bearer, so anybody who possessed it could deposit it. It was in an envelope, in a pocket, zipped up, and I made sure I could feel it for every second until I met up with my real estate agent. So any person that even looked at me, I gave them the stink eye. So that's the attention that you need to pay, because some of these assets are like a down payment for a house or a condo. Anyways, we're getting off on a tangent here. It's not a debate of whether or not they should be on there. I think they should be. It's just that the bots should not be the ones scooping them up. Now, my thoughts are anything that is maybe a certain percentage from the, say, 30% of the lowest buy now price should require mandatory CAPTCHA. I think that's a quick and easy solution. Now for the bots who are transferring assets via the secondary market. Now, I mentioned this earlier in games like Ultimate Team, where you can list your players in the market and make the price a specific number so that they can be easily identified and then bought up by the account that's doing the consolidating. EA have an idea to counter this, where they have their cards, specific rarities of their cards, can have a maximum price. So like a gold common can have a 10K max price, or a gold rare can have a 50K max price. Now, I disagree with this. I do think having a free market is very important, and this would take away from that. But it does make it less convenient for the bots to consolidate funds, because instead of a few transactions, they would require many transactions. I just wanted to point this out because this is a viable way that EA have used. I just don't believe it's viable on Veve. And actually, it's debatable if it's even important, because NBA Top Shot does not have anything like this, yet their combined measures seem to have effectively stopped the bots. So just to wrap things up here, this is a whack-a-mole type of situation, and I personally don't think that there is one single solution to this. As a whole, with multiple counters at the different points of the botting system, the key is just to make it more difficult relative to other platforms. We need to understand, however, there are short-term effects, both good and bad, of these bot restrictions. These big bot accounts will dump on the market when they don't find this business profitable anymore, the botting system within Veve. The long term, it's all positive, because this is what's needed to get the Ecomi customers out of the spiral of FUD. And this will help take Ecomi from the billion-dollar company to a $10 billion company. I believe this team will get us there. They are the experts, and these are just my ideas, and I'm just a guy in a chair. Thanks so much for watching. Please consider liking, subscribing, and following, and I'll see you in the next video.